Michael, you've been working in the criminal justice system for over 30 years. Tell us about the Erin Patterson case.
You know, this case is very intriguing and tragic at the same time. Erin Patterson has been charged with a triple murder and one attempted murder at a tragic lunch, of course, on the 29th of July 2023. And best wishes and condolences to all the family members of the victims. But it certainly brought Morwell, Victoria into the spotlight of the world. The case is being heard at the Supreme Court at the Latrobe Valley Courthouse. Why is it so intriguing? We're dealing with a 50-year-old mother of two who said no prior convictions, no involvement with the criminal justice system. The case is based substantially on circumstantial evidence, and the jury have got a very, very big challenge ahead of them.
Seems to be overwhelming evidence against her. And how many lies told during the investigation?
Yes, certainly a lot of overwhelming evidence and lies during the investigation told by the defendant, Erin Patterson. But as defence barrister Colin Mandy pointed out to the jury, he said, "Do not convict my client on lies, but on evidence." And of course, this case is so intriguing because it not only deals with a mother of two who's got a fascination with mushrooms, but the whole case is centred around intent. Did she intend to kill her lunch guests, or as the defence barrister said, was it a tragic accident? And of course, a lot of evidence against Erin Patterson, and that's of course why the police decided to charge her. But now it's a real balancing act to see whether the threshold of reasonable doubt has been proven.
There seems to be overwhelming evidence against her. And how many lies told during the investigation?
A lot of overwhelming evidence and lies told by Erin Patterson during this investigation. But as defence barrister Colin Mandy rightfully stated to the 12 jury members, do not find my client guilty on lies, but has she committed this offence on beyond reasonable doubt? And of course, this is a very interesting sentencing mix, and not only is it a very tragic incident, but also it tests Australian legal principles. And of course, dealing with this case, all excellent and first-class legal professionals, Justice Christopher Beale for the Crown, Nanette Rogers, who has presented a strong case for the Crown, and of course Defence Barrister Colin Mandy, who says this whole incident has been a tragic accident.
Has Australia got a good legal system?
Australia's got a very powerful and good legal system. Some people wonder, how can 12 ordinary people, members of the jury, find somebody guilty or not guilty of an offence? But as we can see now, they've been in deliberation for the last, since Monday. It's Saturday now. And it's certainly a difficult job, so best wishes, and we've got to congratulate that jury because it's been a difficult process, and they all need to be on the same page to either find Erin Patterson guilty or not guilty. It's got to be a unanimous verdict. Every person of that jury has got a different idea of what does it mean beyond reasonable doubt. So Justice Beale rightfully said, don't go away trying to find out whether she did it. Really concentrate whether there's any doubts in this case, and that's the threshold obviously in the Australian legal system. Did she commit a triple murder and one of attempted murder beyond any reasonable doubt? If there's any doubt, she's going to be acquitted. If there's no reasonable doubt, she'll be found guilty.
Why is it taking so long?
This has been a 9-week trial, 40 days in court, 53 witnesses, and now it's taken quite some time for the jury to deliberate. 12 members of the jury have to gather evidence, and they all have to be on the same page and all come up with a verdict, which won't be far away, whether Erin Patterson is guilty or not guilty. beyond reasonable doubt. And that's a very, very challenging exercise. And of course, if they don't come to a conclusion, there'll be a hung jury and there may be a retrial.
What happens if she's found guilty?
If Erin Patterson's found guilty, she'll be serving a term of imprisonment. The sentencing judge, Justice Bill, will take into account several factors: mental health, victim impact statements, any aggravating factors, and also any factors of mitigation. The standard sentence for murder in Australia is a non-parole period of 25 years, which means she wouldn't be able to make application for parole until 25 years.
What happens if she's acquitted?
If those members of the jury acquit Erin Patterson in coming days, she'll walk free, and that's usually the end of the case, unless there's any fresh evidence or there's any malpractice, judicial malpractice. But generally speaking, that'll be the closing of the case. Erin Patterson goes home back to her family if she's acquitted. If she's not acquitted, she'll be serving substantial years behind bars.